My present purpose is to illustrate Ketiv Qere using here the BHS text. So when we look at the BHS text, we have the normal scripture. Down at the bottom we have the editor's apparatus. In the BHS, we just have a list for the MM, whereas the Masora Magna is actually included in the BHQ. And then the MP, the Masora Parva, the small Masoretic notes in the margins, we have these, and that's where the Ketiv Qere information is located. So we'll take a look at the Ketiv Qere in verse 8 associated with this term, and the note is here in the margin. So the verse, I have the translation here from the NRSV. It's about how David, when he's been anointed king of all Israel, is charging his men to go up, and as they smite the Jebusites, and the question really is this term here. And the NRSV, they take it as the Jebusites whom David hates. So that is, they're reading it with the Qere rather than with the Ketiv. And so we'll need to look at how this works, what the function of the Ketiv is, that which is written, and the function of the Qere, that which is read. So the Masoretes are committed to a couple of things at the same time. First, they're committed to writing down the consonantal text exactly as it is before them in their tradition. So they write it down irrespective of anything else. So here, the word they've written is Sin, Nun, Aleph, Vav. So that's what's before them. However, the Masoretes are also committed to writing down the pronunciation of how it's read publicly in synagogue. And so the accents and the vowel points, those are all the traditional reading. And so thus the Qere here in the Masora Parva, because they're reading a different word, they're actually reading Sin, Nun, Aleph, Yod, which is just a little bit different than ending with a Vav. So the way it works is we need to use these consonants with these vowels. Because they put the vowels, for reasons that are hard to explain, in the text, and they don't want to mess up the consonantal text, so they put the consonants that they actually read in the case of Qere out in the margin. So Ketiv, that which is written, Qere, that which is read. So we need to transfer these consonants to these vowels. So we'll put them on here and see what happens. So in this case, if we were to point this as it stands, and we can see this is this would be a Kal, I guess, perfect 3MP. So reading it this way would be the Jebusites, they hate David. Well, the reading tradition doesn't go that way. The reading tradition says, no, it needs to be this with a yod at the end. That is, it needs to be a Kal passive participle. That is, the Jebusites who are hated by the soul of David. So the question is, here, do we read this with the Ketiv or with the Qere? Now, in a lot of cases, we do read it with the Qere, but we need to evaluate each case because here we have a situation where it seems like the reading tradition didn't want to say hated the soul of David, so perhaps the switch was it's read this way euphemistically. Now, we also notice there's in the BHS a B, which marks a note at the bottom of the page. And so they're saying multiple manuscripts are with the Qere, so there is evidence of that. Then they're also saying Qumran reads it altogether different with a hey at the end. So the Qumran tradition, 4Q Sam A, reads it as a perfect 3FS. So they're reading soul of David as the subject. So they're saying the soul of David hates. So that is the Qumran. There's definitely a different spelling going on here, but it agrees with the Qere. At the same time, the Septuagint, it agrees with the Ketiv. So it's about hating David. So here's one where we have to decide. In this case, probably the Masoretic text, consonantal text, is correct, and this other reading tradition developed as a euphemism to protect David from being hated in the text. That's what it would seem. But in any case, we have to take it case by case, and we read for the Qere, the consonants of the Qere with the vowels that are in the text itself.